Morning everyone. Hey, it's Len from Mercury Man Garage and Outdoors. Well, we're back in the garage today because it's the middle of winter here in Michigan and it's really cold out. So we're going to be hanging out in the garage today and we're going to talk some more about purchasing a new truck. Now, everyone knows prices these days are ridiculous with new vehicles, not just trucks, it's everything. And they're still selling, but for the average Joe, it's really difficult these days to buy a new truck. And I've gone over that in my previous videos. The first one I talked about, there's other options other than buying new. You could buy used and get a really nice truck in the used market too. So check out that video if you got a minute. That goes over some good ideas about buying used. And then my next video, I talked about buying new and gave some, I guess you'd say, off-the-wall ideas on how to buy a new truck and, just start asking questions. Ask for stuff when you're buying a new truck. Because, like I said in that video, I think we are in the driver's seat when it comes to buying a new truck these days. So dealers should be throwing a lot of stuff in with that truck to get them off the lot. And what I mean by the dealership should be throwing things in upon purchase, I'm talking like aftermarket things for your truck. Bed covers, running boards, anything that you're gonna want down the road for that truck. Brush guards. Ceramic coating would be a good one. That would be a nice option to ask for upon purchase. And I believe dealerships should think about that, throwing things in like that to aid in the sale of these vehicles because the lots are full. I don't care what anybody says. These car lots are full, and mostly 2024 models that I'm sure the dealerships want to get rid of. So, the sky's the limit, and what do we have to lose? I think we should start asking for things like that. But I'll link both of those videos at the end of this one, so if you want to click onto those, you can. I think I talked about in one of my previous videos about, purchasing new vehicles, and there's so many YouTube videos out right now on the subject. And most of them are talking about the doom and gloom side of it. They don't offer any solutions. Nothing's positive. It's all doom and gloom and, it's clickbait, basically is what it is. And I'm trying to avoid that. I'm not into that sort of thing in my videos. I just want to bring you guys some positives. If you are in the market for something new, maybe these are some things you can try. But like I said, YouTube is full of the clickbait ones. Like recently I saw one that said, the dealership model is broken. Whatever that means, I don't know, but apparently the dealerships, they're broken. And, I get where they're coming from, but I don't think that has anything to do with the price of these vehicles. I think it's more, it's just the way it is these days. Everything's high. And hopefully things start coming down, but it's just that doom and gloom aspect of the YouTube videos that are out right now. And I watch them. I think they're kind of funny, some of them, and some of them have some good info with numbers and things like that. And they're interesting. And I do recommend that you watch some just to get a feel for what's out there. And some of them do have some valuable information, but so many of them are that clickbait style. And it's just doom and gloom. It's kind of funny, really. Another one I saw was car market's on the edge of collapse. I guess the car market, it's going to collapse. So, clickbait. It's all that is. Another one, Jeep and Ram just destroyed the market. I don't know what that means. I didn't even click on that one because I know Jeep and Ram and Dodge, they're struggling right now with sales, but I don't think they're destroying the market. Another one, just on the thumbnail, it said, game over. Game over. Take that for what it is. I have no idea. Another one, this will be the last one. It's car buying will be a nightmare in 2025. I thought I'd just close with that one because I thought that one was really interesting. The reason it's a nightmare for a lot of us is the price. So if that's what they mean by that, then yeah, I agree with that one. But there's other ways that we can buy new vehicles, and it's not so much of a nightmare as you think it is if you do things the right way. All right, guys, well, you're probably going to think that I'm even more off my rocker than I was in my last video. But I think there's going to be a lot of you out there, too, that are with me on this. And it really doesn't have anything to do with, tips on buying these days. It's more of what we are being offered from the manufacturers. And what I'm getting at is I think trucks are getting way too comfortable. A lot of us, we just want to buy a work truck, and we don't need all those options. So, I'd like to see Toyota and Ford and GM and Dodge offer a vehicle, say a stripped down version, and then we'll just go from there as to the options we want. A lot of times too, when you're buying a new truck these days, it's been like this for a long time, and you want just a specific option in that truck, like a lighting group, map lights, doors on the interior or lights on the interior, things like that. But to get it, you have to get a bunch of other stuff with it. It's kind of part of a package. They got a fancy name for them. But really, all you want is some extra lights in the cab. But they don't offer that. See, that's where I'd like to see these manufacturers make that more of an option to like specific items. I guess you'd say like build your own truck, where you could just go in and start from the ground and build your own. I mean, if you want carpeting, get carpeting. If you don't need it. And that's just it, just carpeting. It's not tied into anything else. And then if you want power locks and power doors, power windows, you can get it. If you don't want it, roll up is fine. Those are the kinds of things I'd like to see the manufacturers start doing is, go back to bare bones trucks, stripped down versions of a work truck, offer good engines, good drivetrain, and, some creature comforts, but more geared towards a work truck rather than a cruiser truck. And speaking of engines, it seems to me, those of us that are buying trucks, that want a truck, we want power, and we want a V8. It seems to me that trucks these days are getting away from the V8s, and I'm sure it's got something to do with the EPA and gas mileage requirements and things like that. I get that. But to me, you can't beat a good solid V8 in a truck. And to me, that's for the weight of the truck and the power that's needed, a 4-cylinder turbo is just not going to cut it for me. I don't know about you guys, but if you're looking to buy a truck, a non-working truck, then yeah, I get that. I use it for traveling maybe and light duty hauling, things like that, then yeah, 4-cylinder truck is fine. But most of us guys that are working our trucks, using it for towing, hauling, basically our work truck, I want a V8. I want a big V8. And you can't tell me that they can't make a V8 and still be within the EPA guidelines. With the technology we have these days, I'm not going to buy that. One more thing on engines is some of us might want to go back to old school engines. And again, this probably has a lot to do with EPA, and this one probably will never happen, but I'm just going to throw it out there because there's a lot of us out there that still like to tune on our engines, just tinker around and tune on them. So therefore, why not offer a carbureted version? Like I said, with technology these days, you could throw a carburetor on one of these trucks and be a lot simpler to work with. The electronic fuel injection is really, really nice, but why not offer a carburetor? That would probably lower the price of a truck substantially. And, for those of us that like that, we can get that option as well. So basically what I'm getting at in this video, and I get that a lot of it is going to be far-fetched and probably is never going to happen, but just seems like they'd be good ideas for me. And a lot of you guys, I think, feel the same way. Is we want to go backwards. We want to go back to old school trucks that we can tinker with and play around with, beat on, and we don't care. If we break something, we can fix it. With these newer trucks, if we break something, it's going to be another loan probably to get it fixed. I'm talking carburetors, headers, you know, anything old school that we could go back to, I'm all for. And, you know, even if it's to the point where, and this is, again, is another far-fetched idea, but that's what this video is going to be about. You know, if they are serious about maybe doing this, you know, they'd probably have to have a whole new factory, you know, built to just build these older version, old school trucks. More jobs, more American jobs right there. And don't send it to Mexico. Do it here. So, you know, hey, maybe far-fetched, but it might be a good idea as well. And, you know, to touch further on that, you know, old school trucks, you know, when are the manufacturers going to offer a retro style pickup? I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. You know, I got my 96 F-250 right there, and I'm even talking older than that, a retro style truck. You know, you got your Mustangs and your Challengers and your Camaros, and, you know, we got one left, the Mustang, because they did it right, and they're still in production. And I think that the same could be done with trucks. If you do it right, people will buy these trucks because they're cool. You know, I'm talking like the mid-50s retro style, the rounded off fenders, and, you know, even the late 60s to early 70s, that style pickup, something like that would be cool, and maybe even both. Let's go backwards, guys, because I think a lot of us would really eat that stuff up. I mean, we like our old school metal. The Mustang, I mean, I see Mustangs all over the place. And when Camaro and Challengers were out there, there's a ton of them too, and there still is. People like that stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but I see that being a big market if these manufacturers would start looking into the retro. And I'm not talking El Caminos and Rancheros. I'm talking pickups, retro style trucks with full length beds, or even a short bed, doesn't have to be full length. But man, the sky's the limit with that retro. That's what I'd be doing. You know, doesn't that seem odd to you guys that they've never offered a retro pickup in all these years? You know, all the years of the Mustang that's been out since 2005, still out, still making them 20 years later. The Camaro and the Challenger, when they were in production, they did very well too. And it's only been them three. I don't get it. I mean, there's so many other classic vehicles out there that they could replicate. And the fact that a truck's really never been done is it's confusing to me. I don't get it. And, you know, maybe they're waiting for the 2025 car market crash to do it. I don't know. But, I mean, to me it makes sense. And I think to a lot of you guys it makes sense too. I think you're in the same boat as me, is if they would offer a stripped down version of a retro pickup, say a 1969 short bed, I'd be all over that. And I think you guys would be too. And just think of the aftermarket industry if they did offer a retro vehicle like that. I mean, talking about the Mustang again, is the aftermarket industry for the Mustang is incredible. I mean, what an opportunity for someone if they offered a retro style truck. That would just open up all kinds of doors to the aftermarket. It's nuts, and I don't get why it's never been done before. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Like I said, it's probably a lot of far-fetched ideas here, but to me they all make sense. And I think you guys probably feel the same way too. And if you don't, shoot me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you're for it, if you're against it, some thoughts on the new car market, truck market, and cars even as well. It's not just trucks, but I'm focusing on trucks in my little series here. But yeah, if you have a comment, let me know what you guys think. And we'll go from there. All right, guys, appreciate it. Please subscribe. Please give me a like and leave a comment if you would. All right, have a good one.